want to jump up there?
Thank you. Thank you. Keep it on. Amen. Yes. Hey, man, how everybody doing tonight? Thank God for being here another day. There was not promised to. Thank God for how good God is. You know, so many things are going on. First, I want to give it on to God, first of all. Brother, sister, Brother Leon, Sister Karen, my wife, and my absence, my God, and blessing her of recovery. Mom and Dad, all my sisters and brothers in Christ. Just thank God for another day that wasn't promised to us. You know, obedience. Man, boy, that's good. Obedience. You know, and just thinking about in this day and time, a lot of people don't want to be obedient. It ain't the big thing, it's just little bitty things that we have to be obedient to. Over people that's, you know, just everything. We just got to be obedient to those that's over. You know what I'm saying? And the most important, being obedient to God. Because He's the one that's going to save you. He's the one that's going to make a way out of no way. He's the one that's going to deliver you. So I just got to thinking about old Paul. And Paul, and how Paul, you know about the ship. And how he began to tell the people, you know, what to do and how to do. But you have some that just, because they was in this position, they didn't want to listen to him. And see, that's why some people are there because it ain't them on the high seat. They ain't going to listen to you because who you are. But you don't know who I got on board me. See, you're on board a ship, but you don't know who I'm on board. They're on board my ship. There you go, that. You know, and I just thank God, you know, we on top of ownership, but thank God who we have on board in our ship. Because if it wasn't for Jesus on board, when he was down at the bottom sleep or die, we wouldn't make it. But I just begin to think about, you know, how good God is by being obedient to God. See, a lot of times I chastise the things come up on them because being disobedient. See, if the captain and the people that was on the ship would have listened, a lot of things they wouldn't have to go through. Same way with that. A lot of times we would listen to what somebody done told us. We wouldn't have to experience some things that we have to go through. Amen. You know, and I was, you know, like I said the other day, I was driving. And in the back of that truck, and I can't think of what it was on my mind all day. And I can't even think of it, but it's going to come to me. But I want to thank God, you know how Brother Leon, you stayed with God. Keep letting God use you, stay with God. Sometimes the waves and things, life come upon you, throw things up on you, and sometimes they want to discourage you. God knows how to encourage you. God knows how to be with you. God knows how to carry you. We just got to let God do it. Come on, and we're going to read the 27th chapter of Acts. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to stop you. But I just want to encourage this church today. Yeah. And those that are going through some things in your life, it seems like the storm of life is raging because sometimes it is raging, sometimes we don't understand things, but we just got to go through these things. Yeah. It matters who you got on board. It matters who you trust in. It matters who you talk with. It matters the company that you have around you, because you can have some negative people around you and that will discourage you sometimes. But you got somebody that God in his life or in her life and tell your brother, God understands. You just got to go through this thing. You might not understand it, you might not like it, it might be burdensome, it might be work, but just trust in God. Because the storm of life is going to rage. The storm of life will overshake, but just know who's going to walk through the storm with you. Just know who's going to bring you through the sun. You got to know that Jesus is on board. Paul was saying, come on, read this thing. Let's go.
Acts 27, verse 1.
Yes.
And when it was determined that we should sail into Italy, they delivered Paul and certain other prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augustus' band.
You got prisoners. Paul was a prisoner, and he was with some other prisoners. And so you got to realize because you saved, because you're with her, you with God, that don't mean you ain't going to go do some things. And sometimes you can be bound up, and not bound up, but sometimes you can be changed and shackled. It seems like you can't shake your way off. But you just got to know who you trusting in. You just got to know who got you that's going be with you even to the end of earth. You got to know that God is on board, that you got Jesus in your life. Come on to read.
Verse 2. And entering into a ship of Adrenatum, we launched, meaning to sail by the coast of Asia. One Aristarchus, a Macedonian of Thessalonica, being with us. And the next day we touched at Sidon, and Julius courteously entreated Paul, and gave him liberty to go unto his friends to refresh himself.
Even Paul, he was a prisoner, but God gave him a certain favor with the captain of that ship. He gave him some privilege. Some prisoners didn't even have that. But Paul was able to go freshen himself up because why? He was a man of God. See, it was God giving you favor with the people that's over you. You just have to trust in God. You can't let God down. You put God down. You just got to trust in Him. No matter how hard He gives, we just got to trust in Him. Come on and read.
Verse 4. And when he had launched from thence, we sailed under Cyprus, because the winds were contrary.
See, the wind was just, they couldn't go that way. Sometimes things get in your life, you just seem like you want to go this way, and somehow it just push you on over on that side. And you try to get back on in the straight, but it seems like it push you on past where you're trying to go. But you just got to realize, just know God has got it all in control. You might not understand what you're going through, but you got to know that God got it all in control. But you just got to trust in God. It might walk you here and there, it might shake you to the left and to the right, but just know that God got you. It might right now your storm is contrary to you. It seems like you just don't understand. Look like you ask you like, God, what is it? Why? But just know that God understands. And God knows He sees farther than you see. Right now you can't see nothing because the storm just got you blind. You got to know who got all sin out in the storm. Come on, read.
Verse 5. And when we had sailed over to Cilicia and Pamphylia, we came to Myra, a city of Lycia. And there the centurion found a ship of Alexandria sailing into Italy.
See, he's trying to go to different, you're going to transfer from one ship to the other ship. See, you got to realize you're on board the ship. And the ship is your safety place right now. But you got to realize there's going to be a storm come up in your life that, hey, it seems like, hey, man, me staying on this ship ain't the best idea. But yes, it is. Stay with the ship. Stay with Jesus. We ain't talking about the ship. He's going to let them know, Paul going to let them know that, hey, this ship is going to break in two. But you better stay with the truth. God, He's almighty. He is the ship. You know, come on.
7. And when he had sailed slowly many days, and scarce were come over against Sniders, the wind not suffering us, we sailed under Crete, over against Salmon. And hardly passing it, came unto a place which is called the Fair Havens, now whether unto was the city of Lassie.
And but you know they begin to talk at this place right here, they get right here and they stay. And then here they stayed there more than what they really supposed to have stayed. And it's talking about fast, and it says something about that. So you got to go through some things. You got to fast, you got to kill this flesh because you don't want to go through nothing. But you got to know that, hey, if you don't get number 2 or 3 hours, just be meditated on God. Ain't no fast to be meditated on God. Be concentrated on God. Do what, hey, whatever come up in your life, you'll be able to go through the storm. You'll be able to weather the storm. No, sometimes it don't feel pleasant. But just know that God is able to carry you through the storm. Just know who's on board your ship. You know, a lot of people got somebody on board, but it ain't the right somebody. A lot of people on board that they can't help them pray. They can't help them fast. They can't help them direct fast. They just got the wrong people on board. Who do you have on board tonight? The question is, who do you have on board? Sometimes we have gossiping on board. Sometimes we have backbiting on board. Sometimes we have time we have just everything that's contrary to God, we got it on board. Then we begin to wonder why things happen to us. The waves begin to toss us to and fro because we ain't got the right somebody on board. You fasting, but who you fasting for? And what are you fasting for? I'm trying to get somewhere. Come on, read.
Verse 9. Now when much time was spent, and when sailing was now dangerous, because the fast was now already past, Paul admonished them.
Paul is trying to tell them. Paul is trying to talk to them. Y'all, the fast on everything done got up, and the time done passed by. Now y'all want to go out here and they get, because y'all don't know who I got on board that's talking with me. You don't know who done came and visited me because your eyes is carnal. You can't see things. Y'all see things in a spiritual way. Paul is trying to give them, hey, I'm trying to warn you. That warning is coming. See, warning is going out into the land, but people ain't taking heed to the warning. Paul is telling me, hey, I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to give you a head up. You know, sometimes how you get a feeling of you ought not to go nowhere, you ought not to do this. See, that's God's way of warning you. That's God's way of putting this fist up so you won't. Hey, I just want to do it. But you got some people that's going to go around. You got some people, if they can't go around this way, they going to go around that way. They just so determined, I got you. No, you don't. Because you don't know what's on the other side of that door. Sometimes things stop you from going because you don't know it's death over there. You don't know it's a robbery over there. Paul is telling us, hey, y'all doing all this stuff. And we done fast. We got them past time. Y'all done wasted time. And now you want to go out here. And now it ain't the time. Sometimes it's just not the time, brother. Sometimes it's just not the time to do things. Sometimes it's just not time to say things. But you got to just hold your peace. Paul giving them heads up. And you know what they going to do? They going to overwalk them. Well, at least sometimes people just they overwalk them. Whatever it may be, they overwalk them. All right. Come on, let's go.
Paul admonished them and said unto them, Sirs, I perceive that this voyage will be with hurt and much damage, not only of the lading and ship, but also of our lives.
Everything that means y'all putting us in harm's way. Because you want to get somewhere. That getting somewhere gonna be there. But if you go out there, we might not make it. Not only that you're going to bring harm to the ship, you're going to bring harm to the merchandise. If you're going to bring harm to the merchandise, you're going to bring harm to us. Why? Why do you want to bring harm? Because you don't want to listen to a prisoner. Because a prisoner is beneath you. Because you feel like, I don't know nothing, or I don't have it, I don't live it. But they didn't know who Paul was. They didn't know Paul had a meaning. Paul was on his way to Damascus. But he came Jesus. Not to die. He had to blind us so he could get everything out of his way. And he had to take us to a place where you can hear from him. You got to hear from God. So God had to put you there so you can hear from him. So he had to do Paul to get him ready for this journey. See, Paul had some work to do. But he couldn't do it until he got to get cleaned up. He couldn't do it until his vision got clear. The way he could see God spiritually. And that's the way it is now. People don't want to see God spiritually. You can't see God in the flesh. And you can't worship him in the flesh like that. You got to worship in spirit and in truth. Woo, Lord. Come on. I'm trying to get some. Come on, y'all.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, the centurion believed the master and the owner of the ship.
See, today you ain't taking heed to me, but you're going to take heed to the skipper. The skipper sometimes get it wrong. Sometimes they read what they compass wrong. Sometimes they not guilty. Sometimes they read it wrong. But they weren't reading. They didn't have it in depth that Paul had. The compass wasn't telling them, hey, you go out there. This is what's going to happen to you. There's going to be right now, it's a calm on the storm. There's There's no kind of nothing on the water. But as soon as you get out there, and that's the way the devil do you, he give you some calmness to let you get out there. And then all of a sudden, here comes the storm. And then you don't know what to do. You in the storm now. Who you gonna call on? You can't call the Ghostbusters, but you got to call Jesus. Who you gonna call? The Ghostbusters can't calm this storm. The Ghostbusters can't, whatever they got on their back, they can turn it up all they want to. And it ain't gonna stop it. Because while you disobey God, you won't listen to the man of God, or you won't listen to the woman of God. You just gonna do it your way. So when you get out there in the midst of the sea, then all of a sudden a great storm come on you. You can try to row and try to fight it, but you can't stop it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Come on, read. I'm trying to get some.
Nevertheless, the centurion believed the master and the owner of the ship more than those things which were spoken by Paul. And because the haven was not commodious to winter in, the more part advised to depart thence also.
In other words, it wasn't big enough for them. It wasn't enough room for them. You know how some people are so ungrateful and so unthankful for what they do have. They want bigger and better and more they feel like they got to have. But they don't know what kind of storm that's going to come with that space. Be thankful for what you got. Be thankful you should have been right there posted up, standing there until God tells you to go. But because you didn't have a connection with God, you couldn't hear God. You ain't got a connection with God. So therefore you can't hear from God. So that means, how God hear you? Through his word. How you going to hear God? Through by praying. How you going to hear God? By the consecration away from the oh Lord, have mercy. How you going to hear him? But they didn't know about old Paul. Paul wasn't panicking. He wasn't disturbed because he knew who he had on board with him. He had the right connection. See, sometimes some people connected to the wrong power source. See, they power source, they get drained. But Almighty God got all power. And he don't need no help. If you need some help, if you need some help, if I need some help, he can give all of us some help. And his power won't never go dead. Because he's all power. He's all, oh Lord. Oh Lord. He said, don't panic. That was the back of the truck, he said. He said, don't panic. And that's what Paul is, he said, he's not panicking. And after a while, they're going to get ready, they're going to be in a panic mode. And Paul ain't saying nothing because he already gave them warning before they even went out there. He's sitting back there. He said that. And that's when people of God, the children of God, are disobedient. They get in trouble and then they want the pastor to pray for them. They want the saints to pray for them. They want the church to pray for them. Well, you wouldn't have to be in that condition. You wouldn't have to be in that situation. Only if you would have been obedient. Obedient. Woo, come on.
If by any means they might attain to Phoenix, and there to winter, which is in haven over Crete, and lieth toward the southwest and the northwest.
Skip to 14. I'm going to try to get it.
But not long after there arose against it a tempestuous wind.
See, they went on out there. First it was a calm, soft wind. As they went on out there, you know how I ain't never been on the water. Lord, I ain't trying to go out there in that water either. I don't want the great white to get me. I don't want y'all to get me. That's a lot of water. And you can't swim that water. Not that much. I don't want to be like the Titanic. I don't want that. But I bet it's nice out there. Brother Tom, I bet it's nice. But I can't. I need some. I need something I can put my feet. Even up in the air. Even up in the air. I want to fly one day when I get them wings. But I know people say, Daddy, what you feel for? Hey, man, I ain't never been up there. I can't miss something I ain't never been. But I mean, you gonna go. I'm gonna go on the ground. I don't want, but anyway, but it ain't nothing wrong with going, travel, man, and as long as you keep God, be holy, be righteous, be pure, and you go. But I pray for you. But anyway, the storm. And that's what's coming up in our lives. And people that's saved and people that's not saved. But what makes the difference is you got Jesus on board. And you can be that would come, even though things around you pop, pop, pop. And sometimes you don't listen to God and it will bop you. Because you took your eyes off of him. And then all of a sudden when you like, Lord, oh Lord, how am I going to do this? Oh Lord. Because you took your eyes off of him. You took your hands out of his hand. He don't take his hand from us, but we take our hands from him. But he said, a great storm. Come on, a temperate storm. Come on.
After there arose against it a tempestuous wind called Euroclydon. And when the ship was caught and could not bear up into the wind.
When the ship was caught, what you gonna do when you're caught out there? What you gonna do when you out there and you have left the ark of the Savior of God? What you gonna do? And where you gonna run? Who you gonna turn to? Who you gonna call on? Because you don't got out there. And now you out there, now what you gonna do? Those that you don't let God for, who you gonna call? Those that you don't walk away from God and you went to chase them, went to do went to men, who you gonna call? Who gonna deliver you? Who's gonna make a way for you? Who's gonna put down their hand, their arm to bring you up out of it? Nobody but Jesus. His arm ain't too short that he can't reach down and pull you out of it. His ear ain't too dark that he can't hear your cry. But he just waiting on you for you to call on him. All right, I'm trying to get through, y'all. All right, where you at?
15. And when the ship was caught and could not bear up into the wind, we let her drive.
Let her drive. That's just like when you can't. I ain't never been on the water like this. I don't know how it goes. But I'm pretty much sure you tell me where it goes. You toss to and fro. Even with driving the car, you lose control of it. If you don't know how to turn with the thing, you just let it go. Because you at the mercy. You better tell Jesus take the wheel. Because if you don't take the wheel, I hope that you're right with him. Because you hopefully that you are. I hope you don't get mangled all up. But just in case you knew, you better call on him. And you better call on him with a sincere heart. And I just got to thinking about me. God, it was so beautiful to wake up this morning. This morning was not promised to us. All them didn't know that they were going to face a good tempestuous storm out on the water. Like we don't know what's going to face us tomorrow. We don't know what's going to face us later on down. But right now we know we got who on board. We got Jesus. We got Jesus on board. And a lot of people don't have Jesus on board. And that's why they act up. The world is just mad. The world is just crazy. Even the church world, not all of them, the church. What are we going to do? What are the people going to do? When Christ comes back for you, what you going to do? Because he's on his way back and we're playing with this thing. Not us, but we're playing with this thing. And the people don't believe in God. The people don't believe in Christ. They think it's a joke. What are we going to do? I ain't mean to get off on this, but what are we going to do? Souls are important. What you going to do? If they wouldn't have listened to Paul, they would have died. If they wouldn't listen to Paul, later on at first they didn't listen to him. But later on down the line, they begin to open their ears and so they can hear him. Because they begin to, I'm going to skip around, but they begin to think about because the storm got to bumping up against this boat. They had another boat on with that boat. So they're going to take this boat to get out the big boat to get into the little boat. Because you don't want to die. See, that's what the devil wants to do. He wants to trick you, thinking it's okay to get out of the sacred order of God and get out of this territory. But listen to the man of God. Listen to the woman of God. Listen to somebody that's saved, that's concerned about your soul. We ain't caring nothing about your money, but it's about your soul. Because the man you lose your soul, what shall a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? Or what would a man give in exchange for his soul? See, your soul is the most important thing, and you want to give it up. And that's what people do. They're giving up God. They're walking away from the Lord. This thing is not a plaything. This is a real thing. Lord, have mercy. Come on. Come on.
16. And running under a certain island which is called Clauda, we had much work to come by the boat.
But they had to work for this thing. And sometimes when you get out of God's will, you got to work to get back into God's will. It ain't easy. When you don't walk willing to walk way back, you don't backslid. In other words, you don't backslid. And people want to say there's no such thing as backslide. No, yes, there is. It's in the Bible. Yeah, it's in God's word. Yeah, you backslid. Yeah, you might have got it right with God. But what did you let separate you from the love of God? If you're not doing what you was doing when you got saved and you don't went back, you don't backslid. That means you ain't up here and you back here. You went back to the picking up things and doing things. So you got to work. Because you got out of God's will. You done got out. The ship ain't broken to pieces yet. But because you done willing to jump off the ship and into the devil's territory. And Paul is trying to tell them, hey man, if you listen to me, you wouldn't listen to me up there. But I need you to listen to me now. Now you see what I was talking about. And a lot of times people don't see what you're talking about between you. Try to witness to them. You try to tell them about God, about this and that, and all of a sudden, pop, hit them. I remember that sister told me. I remember that brother told me. I remember mama told me. I remember daddy told me. I remember what pastor told me. Oh, now you do. But look what you got to go through. All right, I'm trying to get through y'all. In the world, I'm going to slow down. I'm supposed to be very close. The world is in trouble. The world, not just America. The world is in trouble. God, Jesus is on his way back. But we plan church. Playing church, y'all. I don't want to go to the devil's head. That wasn't created for me. It wasn't created for us. Since we don't want to turn to God and we don't really want to live, we want to straddle the fence here. And we want to do what we want to do. We get all out of the circle. Why play to miss an eternal heaven where peace, where we're speaking of the lake of fire? You don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. The devil himself don't want to go there. But he's going. That's one place he can't not miss. We can miss it, but he can't miss it. That's his final destination. He got to go there. That's his punishment. It don't have to be your punishment, but they punishment on this right here. Is God made with disobedience to Paul. And Paul got Paul that wasn't up in stature as Athos. But he's up in stature in the Lord. That's it. Go ahead, Russell. He wasn't in stature with them because he wasn't a centurion, but as a captain, he was a prisoner. But he was a prisoner in the Lord. He was free. And they didn't understand. All right. Come on and skip on down to 18. Was it almost? Yeah, 18.
And we being exceedingly tossed with a tempest, the next day they lightened the ship. And the third day we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship.
I mean, they working now. They trying to lighten up everything because they don't want to die. They don't want to go through what they have to. They're going through because, hey, if we don't, we're going to die. Paul just not panic. Paul just sitting there. He's looking at him work, and that's the same thing with Brother Lex. He just look over the congregation. He'll just look, he'll look, and people didn't know the deepness of him because he was the shepherd. God gave him them eagle eyes, and he saw that who wasn't in place. Even though you were sitting there in the pew, but you wasn't in your place. And so that's where God is. God got the shepherd, he got the eagle eye, he can see, he knows who ain't in their place. You can sit there in the body. But you're hearing about it, but your mind and your heart and your soul is on the other side of town. So that ain't doing good. So he used to say, hey, is my living in vain? Because why is my living in vain? Because you're not standing up for what I taught you. You're not standing up for the Lord Savior Jesus Christ, the one that died for your sin and my sin. So the one that so you don't have to go to a devil hell. And if you bound by drugs and alcohol, he said, who the Son of Man set free is free indeed. So you don't have to be bound. But you choose to go out there to that storm. Whatever the storm is in your life, you choosing to go through that. And a lot of times he's saying, whosoever will, let him come, and I will no wise cast you away. Come on! But you want to go through that storm. You want to go through that heartache. You don't have to. Come on, Reed. Come on. Skip on down to number 21. I'm going to get ready to close out.
But after long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs,
here you go again.
Ye should have hearkened unto me.
You should have. You study, he just tell me. If y'all would have just listened to me, we wouldn't have to be in this situation. And that's the same way it is with us. We just ought to listen. And a lot of times, you don't want to listen because you think you know. And come down to it, you don't know. You don't know. Well, you think you know because you hear, you don't know. It may take somebody way down here to come and tell you. Just because you don't want to humble yourself down under the mighty hand of God. You don't want to humble yourself down because who it is. It doesn't matter about who it is. But if they got the right connections, then you listen to them. You should. Come on.
Ye should have hearkened unto me, and not have loosed from Crete, and to have gained this home and lost.
Now you done just got this stuff on us. Now he's gonna come on, we're gonna get ready, come on.
And now I exhort you to be of good cheer.
Now he's gonna tell his power to it. Now he ain't just bashing, but he bashing. But he also coming right now. Come on to this doctor. I'm gonna lift you up. I know you're already down. I know you're scared. Now it ain't the really time for me to keep on putting this on you now. I don't want to keep. But now I'm going to give you a little pick me up. I'm going to pick you up because you're already down. I see you scared. I see you the scared. But now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some encouraging words. Come on with it.
Be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship.
I want you to be up. Now, I ain't saying the part what you're talking about, because what you're talking about, what I'm saying, and what we're going through, it doesn't add up. So what you're talking about to me, it doesn't add up. But Paul knows what he's talking about. Just listen. The man of God knows what he's talking about. Just listen. Come on.
For there stood by me this night the angel of God, whose I am, in whom I serve.
Woo! I am. He said, who stood by him? The angel of God, whose I am. I serve. Now I know what he told me, because he didn't put in me the spirit of fear, but power and love and of a sound mind. But if I didn't have that, I would be just like you. There will be no peace in the midst of a storm. He wants to speak to some that peace be still. And he spoke, man, Lord have mercy, that peace be still and the storm has to side out. Because everything got to obey the voice of peace. Paul had peace in his life. But the other ones didn't have no peace. So he had to give them some encouraging words to tell them who is standing by me, who came and visit me, who I am. But see, so they let us know who we are. Just think about who you are in the Lord. Who's on your side? Who's living in you? Who's surrounding around about you? The angels of the Lord. They didn't have angels along with them. They out there trying to get rid of stuff. They trying to live. But Paul tells them, hey, you don't live. Only thing they're going to be destroyed is the ship. All right, y'all, we're trying to get together.
Say, fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar, and lo, God had given thee all them that sail with thee.
See, God gave these people to you. God gave these people to you. And everybody that's a child of God, God got somebody that you got to witness to. You have to be a witness for the Lord and to the people so they can see God gave them to you. Whether you ask for it or not. When you get saved, that's you. That's your witness for the Lord. And so God had gave every last one of us somebody to us, for us. Now I can't witness for you, but it's going to be somebody that's going to be just right for you. And the question is, will you be in place to do it? Will you be in the right mind to do it? Will you be in the right spirit to do it? Will you have the right conversation to do it? Will you have everything that adds up with the Lord? That's all I'm going to say on that. Come on. I'm trying to get up and get down.
Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe God, that it shall be even as it was told me.
I believe God. It's going to be done. All right, skip down to y'all trying to go down to number 30.
Verse 30. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, when they had let down the boat into the sea, under color as though they would have cast anchors out of the foreship,
it's like a pretense thing. They trying to get ready. We're going to get up out of here. This is what look right, and this is right for us. For Paul trying to save their lives, they got to remember, this is what Paul said just a while ago. Remember, how soon we forget? And the question is, what was taught to us, how soon we forgot what they taught us? We know we ain't forgot. Let me take it back. How soon we said it. That's what I have to say. We ain't forgot. No, we ain't forgot. We ain't forgot. We just don't want to do it. We so caught up in today's time of the show. We ain't trying to get ready for the showmanship of Christ to come. Because he's coming. When he comes, how will he find you? How will he find your house? Because he's coming. Somebody didn't make it this morning, so that's why I began to think about it. It's so blessed. We're so blessed to be here. Somebody didn't make it. Somebody got a call that they ain't here no more. Your loved one is going on, but God left you here one more time. He didn't let you go down with the ship. You didn't sink it. But his ship, God's ship, ain't gonna never sink. But man's ship will sink. The Titanic supposed to be one of the most biggest things that iceberg can't even mess with. You can't mess with God. You can't mess with God. Man, you can't come nowhere close to God. When you think that you're close to God, above God, God will bring you down. All right, come on, let's go. I'm almost done.
31.
Okay.
Paul said to the centurion, to the soldiers, except these abide in the ship, ye cannot be saved.
Except we abide in the ship. I ain't talking about the boat ship, the ship of Christ. When people talk about staying with the ship, you stand with Christ. Because he's the only one that can save you. Not this building, not no man, but Jesus Christ. He's the only one that can save you. That is, he is the ship. Stay with the ship. Stay with the ship. Stay with Jesus. Stay with your teacher. Stay with the one that I am the way, the truth, and the life. Stay with him. Because you can't go wrong. As soon as you get out of the ship of the arm of Christ, you're going to go down. You might be going for a little while, everything be going the way. You know, everybody that left God Ain't say left the church. Because we are the church. This is a place of worship. Everybody that left God, that left Christ, that done backslid, they call pure hell. They whole consciousness, they appearance get dark. Because sin is on board. See, when you come to Christ, Christ lighten you up. He lighten you up on the inside out. People don't believe that you get a glow on you, of Christ on you. But they just don't believe it. You ain't going to believe it until you get an experience with him. Until he get into your life and delivers you. Until he say, that ain't nothing, but when you say you get delivered. That's all you do. That's all he's doing. He's trying to save them. He's trying to let them know that you got to stay here in order to be saved, in order to get delivered. You got to stay in Christ in order to be saved and be delivered. Come on, I'm trying to get through y'all.
Then the soldiers cut off the ropes of the boat and let her fall off. And while the day was coming on, Paul besought them all to take meat, saying, this day is the 14th day that ye have tarried and continue fasting.
And they fasting when they ain't got to fast. Because they so scared they don't forgot about eating. They trying to say, hey, they're lying. They trying to, we got to do what it takes. But skip on down you're at 34, read 34, we can get out here.
And when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to God in the presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. Then were they all of good cheer, and they also took some meat.
See, everybody, he prayed. And he ate. And they were all of good cheer. Y'all, what are we eating? I know what we eating, but what is the world in the church world eating? Don't you know what the devil is doing? He's serving you up some pretty lifting food and everything, but he ain't letting you know what he done put inside the ingredient. See, a lot of people got the wrong ingredient into their food, so a lot of them can't stay. A lot of them, and that's what Brother Lacey was talking about. From one church night to the next church night, he having a line full of people, saints that can't stay. What is it? Because you don't want to fight for your salvation. You're willing to lay it down and set it down to go out to please the arm of the flesh. But what, my God, when are you going to have some strength? Because my God has got all power. And he don't need no help. He don't need your help. He don't need my help. He just needs for you to be obedient. He said, whosoever, won't you come on? Son and daughter, won't you come on? I know what you're going through. I know what you're battling with, but won't you come on? And see, when you come on to this ship, you ain't got to worry about nothing else. Because I'm on board of your ship. And when you go out there, maybe it's take you to sail on through your trial. He's able to take you through it. Yes, sir. He's able to take you through. Yes, sir. And sometimes it don't seem like, I'm getting ready to close. The world, y'all, we don't know what's getting ready to happen. Y'all, we do not, whether you saved or not saved, you don't know what's getting ready to happen. We don't know what the government is really, what they doing. They gonna be, which they are lying to us anyway. But anyway, somewhere. But it's one thing that's going to be fulfilled, this Bible. You're not going to be able to buy, sell, or trade. I was told God off of it now. Unless you take this mark. You got to stay with the ship. You got to stay with Jesus. And it's, yeah, you're going to be, oh, bro, you saying that now. Y'all, we don't know. The world is, yes, it's in a mess, and it's going down, baby. But what is the church world doing? What are we doing? Are we getting the people ready? Are we sounding an alarm, y'all? There's a storm coming. Are you going to be ready? Because when you run into the building, what would you hear from your pastor? What would he say or would he tell and run? Because he wasn't called by God. Because if you get Moses had to stand. He didn't go over because he disobeyed God. But it didn't say he didn't make it in. He saw it. And we don't know if they can't find him now. That I know if they can't find him. I could be wrong. But God let him come See, it's a bad thing for you to see the promised land and not make it up. Y'all, it's a bad thing to know about God's word, heaven, and you don't make it in. You don't have to not make it in. You can make it in. Do not get shipwrecked on the wrong ship. Y'all pray for me.
Amen. Clap your hand for the word of God on tonight. Hey, man, don't get on the wrong ship. Don't get stranded in the storm without Jesus. Amen. Beautiful word coming from Brother Fuller on tonight. Amen. He brought up so many beautiful points on tonight. And he was ministering the word. I just had a thought. I said, some of us got at least $10 or $12 in the bank. What would you do if the bank told you tomorrow you couldn't get your money out unless you took the mark? What would you do? Somebody say, oh, I wouldn't take it away because you probably ain't got nothing in the bank. Yeah. But someone got $7.50 and we know we need a loaf of bread. What would we do? When we get off of Jesus' ship, because like the brother said, we don't know what's going to come up on us. And if we don't take it serious now, like the Paul tried to tell them, you don't need to do this. But just like some church folk, just because they don't see it with their eyes, no, you can't tell me until it happens. And like he said, then they want everybody to go crazy praying. But if we just had to listen. And I said, if we had to listen. Well, you didn't listen. They could tell me, they could point their finger in my face. You didn't listen all the time, but I could say, hey, I'm listening now. And that makes a difference. Some folks still ain't listening. Gonna kill themselves. And I'm talking about naturally too. Because you tell, well, like the brother said, everything just ain't meant for everybody. Flying and boat riding and there's a whole bunch of stuff I can name off. Anyway. Yes. Yep. But when it, oh Lord, let me be quiet. I don't get saying the wrong thing. Some things, God love you on tonight. But don't let this world throw you for a flip. That's all I'm going to say. Because the devil sure want to do it. But like I said, the man told him, I know whose I is. Not whom or whose I is. I belong to the Lord. And the angel of the Lord told me to tell you so-and-so and so-and-so. So Paul said, hey, I ain't worried. So get up and eat you something. You know, if you stick with it, you'll be all right. And that's the way it is with the house of God in a spirit-filled church. The world could be going crazy and God can send you a word of comfort, just like he did on the night. If we just stay with the gospel ship, and I magnify God for it. Thank and praise God for the praise and worship service. Thank God for all the beautiful songs. Thank God for the song coming from the legend. Yeah, Mother Gwen. And I tell you, I told Sister Taylor, I said, girl, that was right on time. I'm a young person. I thank God for it. Yeah. Stuff like that keep you encouraged. She didn't have a whole bunch to say. She just sent that to me. That was more than enough. More than enough. Mother Gwen. God bless y'all out there.